So in this part, we are going to be setting up our code Cs and our Ui server. And after all, we configure, we write our Python program, which is going to act as our client, and an HMI and SCADA, a client that serves as an HMI and a SCADA. So in the last video, we talked about setting up the Raspberry Pi and getting your IP ready. So just a quick review. I'm trying to connect my Raspberry Pi and my system to, okay. I have the two computers connected to my phone now, which means I'm good to go. I just need to scan these to get my IP address. So I click on run, and I think I made it clear how to get your IP in the last video. We come to command prompt and type in ipconfig. Then you get if you are using Ethernet, you get the IP number of the gateway, default gateway. But in my case, I'm using wireless LAN, so I'm going to use the IP number of the default gateway of wireless LAN. So I'm going with this number 192.168.43. That is what I need to search my IP numbers. So just like I told you in the last video, you need to make the last part to be 12254. So what this is gonna do is that it is going to search through all the IPs that are available within this range. So while we're waiting for that to search, we can begin to set up our courses. So you do that by starting a new project, and then you select standard projects. You give it a title that you like, anyone, and you click on OK. Allow it to load. Okay, so now when it comes to this part, the device, you select courses for control, courses control for Raspberry Pi, and then you select ladder logic as your programming language. So before you select this, you have to install the control for Raspberry Pi. Just like I said in the last video, you have to have installed the control for Raspberry Pi on your code Cs. So it is after installing that you get the option, this option. So I won't be doing this now because I've done it already, so I'll just close this. Okay, the advanced IP scanner have finished scanning, so I have my Raspberry Pi IP here. So I'm going to confirm that with my code Cs, this particular IP, I should get the same number on my code Cs. So since I have a ladder logic set up already, so what I'm going to do now is just come to tools and update Raspberry Pi. Come to tools and update Raspberry Pi. It should open this terminal for me. So you input your username, the one you use on your Raspberry Pi, and your password. And just like I said, while setting up your Raspberry Pi, you need to enable SSH, because the process will be using the SSH to communicate remotely with the Raspberry Pi. So I will just input my password here. Then I come to scan. As you can see, I have my Raspberry Pi IP here, and it is the same thing as what I have here. So I'll just close this. It is of no use. Okay. Then you need to install Courses Runtime Package. So in my case, I have two different versions. So I'm going with the recent one, and you click on install. After installing, and you start the runtime. Allow it to load. Install. So in the meantime, let me show you. Okay, it has installed. You select standard. Okay. Yeah, we are good now. Then you start. After starting, then you come to device. In your case, okay, I have it here now, my Raspberry Pi, and I click OK. Put your open username and password. You know, while setting up the courses, you would be required to set up all these credentials. I've done that already, and I won't be going into more details because I want to make this video to be as short as possible. So if you want a video on that, I can make a video on that, but for now I will just glance through all these things. So I want to get to the last part as soon as I can, so I'm very sorry for that. So I'll just log in, and then I will. Okay, I'm online now. I've logged in, which means I have downloaded this particular logic into my Raspberry Pi. If you are a first timer, it will ask you if you wish to download, to accept, so that you'll be able to download this ladder logic into your Raspberry Pi. So since you have the ladder logic, the program in your Raspberry Pi now, what we need to do is set up our Kepware server. So you do that by coming to Kepware, you come to projects, and you come to connectivity. So okay, come to connectivity, and you select new channel to bring different options. So let's say the software you want to connect it is not GoSys, so you look for the particular software that you're using here. But in my case, I'll just go for GoSys, select next, channel 2, and just go through with everything else, and that's it. I won't go through this because I have it set up already. So after getting your channel ready, you need to create a device. Come to new device, so device, and you select GoSys version 3 Ethernet. You go through with everything else. Okay, when you get here, you change this to logical address, and so you get your address by coming to GoSys device. This is your address, this is your logical address, and this is your ports. So this particular number OOB2 is what you will input here, 00B2. Next, and 1217, you can see it has dictated it already. Same ports here, so just click on next, but I won't do that because I have it set up already. So this is my channel and this is my device. If I open this, I should see this. So after getting your device ready, what you need to do is you come here, new tag. I have created tags already here. I've created tags, but I just want to show you how you create your own too. So you come to courses, go to your PLC program, and note the tags that you have here. We have start, we have stop. So I will use these tasks for example. Let's say I want to create a tab for start, and I click on name. The name will be in capital letter FIO underscore FIO underscore start, and come to the address. Address will be application dot p in capital letter PLC underscore program dot start. So what this means is application dot PLC program dot start. So that's just it. It's trying to it will use this to locate your tag on the courses. And lastly, you need to check the type of data type that we have in stats. As you can see here, it is boolean. So select data type to be boolean and you click OK. So I won't do that because I have it. This is it. The file underscore start and the address application.plc underscore program.start, and the data type is boolean. So I have my setup here already. So just to confirm that the server is okay, then I'll come to OPC. I'll come to quick clients here. Then I'll come to channel 1 device 1. That is channel 1 device 1. So I have my parameters here, I have my variables here, and you can see the quality is good. You need to make sure that the quality is good. After ensuring that you have this setup, that is when you can now begin with the coding, with Python coding. So before we get to that, you need to know the IP address and the ports of the server, of the gateway server. So you do that by coming to the search and you type OPC Ui configuration. Okay, I have it. So you click it, you open it. As you can see, I have set up my my IP and my port. So originally this won't be enabled. You need to enable it. After enabling it, you can okay, you get the IP number, get exact IP number that is here, and then you come to your UA browser. This condition, I'm using Proceed OPC Ui browser. So you copy, you open the OPC Ui browser, and after getting your IP from the gateway server, so what you need to do, okay, I have it here already, so I'll just open it. As you can see, I didn't use any security, so the security mode is none. So it is going to bring all my parameters, objects, channel 1, just like I set it up on the server. Then I come to device 1, and I have all my parameters. So that's it. So for the next part, you need to copy this particular IP address and the port as well. So we will start with the client side now, which is writing codes for the client, which is the HMI that we're working with. So I've done that already, so I'll just glance through what I have here. OPC Ui, this is my client, so I'll open it with visual code so that you can see what I have here. Okay, this is my code, and don't mind the jargons that I have here. Some of them me myself I don't understand because I just started this. I'm also new to coding, so uh but first and first, you need to connect to the OPC Ui server. This is what I mean by that. So you do that by first import your OPC Ui, and from OPC Ui you import the client. Then you create, you ensure that there is a connection between the server and this client. So do that by using this particular code. Client equals to client, open bracket, and then you input the IP that we got from here. Yes, the one that we got from here. That is what you are going to use to connect. So you ensure that there's a connection. After that, then you can begin to you can begin to configure your parameters as per what you want. So basically, I have done what I have done here is that I I I I used Tickenter as my GUI. GUI means graphical user interface, which means Tickenter is a tool in Python that we use to create a graphical interface. Graphical interface means what human being can interact with, like the widgets, the buttons, and all that. So you can use PyQt for this purpose also, but I choose to go through with the coding part. I prepare coding so that I'm new to this thing, so I want to get used to coding well before I begin to use simple, because I see PyQt to be too simple for me. So I want to go through with the hard part first before I begin using simple frameworks and all that. So basically, I have imported my Tickenter. So I have it here from Tickenter import star, which means import everything. I have from Tickenter import TK and so on, and many other uh, codes also. So basically what these ones are doing is that they are importing libraries for the code. So after creating a connection, you create you import your library and your tools and all that. So I have imported Tkinter. So what I've done here is create this particular one means you are creating a window. It is the widget, the window, the overall window that carries other windows. So you can change the title on the window here, root.title, and the size. You can do it here also. Then create sub window. Create sub window means the labels, the buttons, and everything that you want to pack into your widget, into your main widget. So after doing that, then you will configure each labels and each buttons as per what you want them to do, as per what you want them to the kind of information that you want them to send to your controller. So for example, my start switch, for example, this is, I first of all I created the label, then I created the button, and then I gave the button a command switch. So I come back up here to define the switch, and then I give it some instructions. So if it's on button config test, this means if the button is on, text equals to y, and what is y? Y means main off. So if I run the program, you will see display main off, and if I click the button again, you see to main off. But the part where it communicates is this part. This variable dot set attribute into bracket ua dot attribute and all that. So when I click on the button, when the button is on, it executes this instruction. So as you can see, I've given the boolean value to be true. So when the button is at this state, the starts, this particular starts will be true. So if it's off, then it will be false. So that's just basic cap about this thing, basic review. I won't go into much details. I can only try to upload the code for you guys to access. So basically, that is software development for you guys. Your own software might not be related to this, but considering that I am an engineering personnel, I am an electrical engineer, I chose to go through with this part because it's linked to my field. So if I run this code, I have my software here. As you can see, I have my software. By running it, it has connected to the server, and as you can see, hello, welcome to the day. That is my title. My title here. And the switch, for example, the first sub window that I created, that is the switch. It starts. So this particular switch, main on, main off, this is it. So if I click it, it executes an instruction, it sends an instruction, and this is the instruction that it sends to the Raspberry Pi. When it is on, it sends this, and when it is off, it sends this Raspberry Pi. So we look at it from the process, see that when it is on. Sorry. Okay. Watch the stats when it is on, comes on, and when it is off, it comes off. So it changes the instruction from true to false as per what I give it here. So that is that about making an HMI software